Oh, those windrows are disappointing. Thought there'd be more there. Morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. And we're actually going to mix it up a little bit today. We're not cutting silage. We need to get that guy going badly. Yeah, if you're new here, we're just a farm and cattle operation that does custom silage in our area. We're not just a custom operation, so we got farming stuff to do today. That's a hell of a dust cloud. So, Bart's already got this field raked. That one is regrowth on feed we chopped like a month ago. Oh, I suppose. Let's go grab a baler and give it a try. Cameron tried a field on the other side of town that they had to leave yesterday because it was too wet. He went and tried it this morning, said it's still too wet. And I go, that doesn't make sense because humidity, everything like that says we should actually be too dry. Try this. Feels like forever ago since I've been in my baler. Yeah, you can tell where they quit yesterday. It was green. Alright, let's see if I remember how to run this thing. Frickin' birds, man. They've been having a heyday with this tractor. And then mud. Where'd they find mud, I wonder? So this is fourth cutting. Fourth cutting is going to be your most premium alfalfa. It's going to have your smallest stems, your most leaf content. Obviously you can see by the grass, this is not premium alfalfa right here. But this is the cutting you want to get as much moisture as possible so that way you get as much leaf retention as possible. What has been baffling me, Bart and Cameron today though, is trying to get that moisture right. We started baling when, according to every measurement that we go off of, humidity, dew point, all that, it was too dry. And both Cameron and I had a lot of moisture to start. I think we finally got it. Our pressure's up, hitting 800, which is the bottom end of what you want. Moisture's all over the place, but it's staying under 22, so hopefully we can just keep rolling. Cameron, like I said, he's got 20 acres out west of town. I got 20 acres here. We got the pivot of feed. I'm hoping we can cut it, bale it. Been in a chopper too long. Got the little bit of feed down there where Bart's at, but 10 acres, there's only going to be about 4 bales there, so I'm not overly concerned about that. And then beyond Bart is a field of weeds. It's just it's a real CP fallow, or real CP field that we leave for fallow every year because buried too much equipment down there trying to actually farm it. So about twice a year you get to cut the weeds off of it. Like I said, if you time it right, it can be very beneficial in your ration. These are going to be really dry, so you're going to want to stretch them really thin in your ration. Wouldn't be a day of baling if we didn't break a shear bolt, right? Almost finished the hay. Alright, weeds are cleaned up. 31 bales, yeah, I know, I'm tight. 31 bales of weeds. Now I got some feed regrowth right on the other side of the ditch there, and then go join Cameron and Bart on the pivot. Yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with that beeping because it's not gonna get dry enough to quit beeping. So I called this feed regrowth a minute ago. So one cool thing about forage sorghum is when you cut it off, it'll actually try to regrow. So this field here east of town, you remember this is actually in a video over a month ago. Yeah, we were still well into corn, so it's easily over a month ago, close to 2. So this is the day we started right up next town by Walmart and across the road from Deere. Had the real rough field where the trucks were rocking on the furrows. This is where we ended the day, chopping this with the zerns. So we cut it off almost as clean as it is now. But you see all them little green leaves? This field, after we chopped it, caught 3 different little sprinkles all together, 3/10, ½ inch, somewhere in that range. It was just enough to get this stuff to shoot up about a foot. We're like, you know what? We're already cleaning up the weeds next door and the alfalfa over there. Let's just go ahead and clip it, get that little bit of regrowth, put it in a bale. The one thing you definitely have to watch on doing this, though, is something called nitrates. So forage sorghum is notorious for being high in nitrates. You might be saying, well, what the hell is a nitrate? Oversimplification. As crop is growing, it's taking up nutrients from the soil, nitrogen being one of them. Well, what it can do is when it starts getting drought and stressed, it'll concentrate that nitrogen near the base of the stalk. So when you are cutting really drouthy stuff or stuff like, regrowth that's struggling to grow, you have to worry about that concentration of nitrogen. Now, what does that do? Why does that hurt them? So in cattle, in feedlot steers, so castrated males, it's not as big a worry. But in pregnant cows, so the females, you have to worry about nitrate poisoning. And what that can do is they'll take in too many nitrates and it'll cause them to abort their calf. Not good. So what you'll do is whenever you get done baling it, we call our agronomist, he comes out with this drill and this tube, pulls a core sample out of the middle of the bales, sends them off, they'll do a nitrate sample on it. The way we feed, we're never concerned about the nitrates unless they are ungodly high, which thankfully we haven't had something like that. But our forage sorghum bales make up 20% of our ground hay ration. Our ground hay ration, the alfalfa, the weeds, the stalks, the forage sorghum, all that combined makes up, 13% of our overall ration. So 20% of 13%. It would take a catastrophic event for it to affect feedlot steers with our ration. So for us, not such a big concern. The landlord, the guy who owns this land that we farm, has a cow-calf operation and a very large and expensive horse operation, to where we make sure we get this nitrate tested so he knows what he's getting, because he really likes to feed this stuff. We want to make sure he realizes what's in those bales before he starts feeding. Sampling is important. Not too bad. 9. Was not expecting that. I just did the math though. Started baling at 8 o'clock this morning by the time that got dry enough. It's now 11:30. I've done 75 acres. It's not bad. Let's go help Cameron Bar with the pivot now. That's it? That's all you've gotten done? Oh, what the hell you been doing over here, Cam? Come on, shift up a gear. I'm kidding. Now this is a windrow. Gonna be a couple of bales here. Just a couple. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one struggling with shear bolts. I just replaced my second one of the day on this, now on this field. Well, no, second one of the day, first one on this field. Cameron's working on one. Up to 41 bales. That counter was at 9. I've made 3 passes. There is a ton of bales out here. A little over 300. Hit the mic. A little over 300 bales, so that produced well. 1 o'clock. I don't have enough time to run this home. I'll have to do that later. Let's go find some food. Before I grab lunch, I gotta run in here right quick. I'll be right back. One errand, then lunch. Holy shit, who's that guy? Wow. I feel different. Okay. Well, forget lunch. Plum just called. She's got error codes on the swather, so let's go figure out what's going on with her. It's a wee bit windy. Yeah. Can't really open the door with one arm. Oh. Oh, we're listening to the weather?
Gusting to 29.
Okay. Thought that'd be a little better windrow. Anywho, here's our problem. We've had 5 different service calls with deer where they've came out and worked on this exact same code. They've changed linkages, sensors, potentiometer. I can't even remember what all they've changed. They've changed so much crap in this hydraulic system, or the hydro system, I should say. And for some reason, it still doesn't work. So now, this is just sitting here running, waiting on Deere to decide what they want to do. We did this to keep the code active, because if you shut it off, go to restart it, after like 5 minutes, that code is gone. And we're getting nowhere with the diagnostics of this, so we're going to leave it running. Blanca went with Hector to go move grain truck. Neighbors are combining corn, and a couple of them that we buy corn from, they don't have semis, they have like tandem bobtails. Rather than waste time bringing, just that little bit at a time, we use our grain trailers to haul it. Makes the harvest faster for them, makes the unloading easier for us. Speaking of unloading, let's go to the grain bin. So we've got an issue going on with our setup here and our bin manager. I'm not sure what the hell we got going on. I just looked online, all 3 bins are currently offline. But when they were here this winter doing some updates to them, that guy said he was watching the live feed of the data going back and forth. And granted, all it's got to do is talk to that tower right there, 200 feet away. And he goes, these are barely getting any signal whatsoever. And I go, well, what's the fix? I don't know. So I have no idea what the blinky code means. It's an auto. Flip it on. Well, it runs. Let's try number 2. There it goes. And number 3. So all the fans will kick on and run. But what's weird is it's 100 degrees, 95, whatever the hell it is. And it's saying the corn coming in is only 60 degrees. I have a hard time believing there's that big a temperature difference. A little bit of corn in there. This bin will hold 47,050 full. Corn truck unloading. Makes you feel real good when you're climbing that and you can watch the whole thing doing this. And yes, I know I'm fat, but still. That's besides the point. Well, John Deere just left. It's 5 o'clock. Wonder if he got it fixed or it's quitting time. I don't know. See if they call. Right now, let's go check some fields. Come up with somewhat of a plan for haying for the next couple days. This freaking wind is miserable, guys. It's gusting over 30. Temperatures in the mid 80s. This is not October. Oh, and in even better news, Saturday, 2 days from now, 97 degrees in October. I thought this was supposed to be like pumpkin spice and apple cider and, like sweaters and football. This is bullshit. Hopefully the wind isn't screwing this up so you guys can hear me. I just driving by, I seen the flags here for the first time from the surveyor. So when we bought the farm, I wanted to put up the pivot. Property line, that's what this post is. Let me look through my camera. And it went right along those trees and then right out there where you can see the taller stubble in the corn. In order to make the sprinkler fit, our outside tire track was basically right at the property line. So then you had the overhang plus the end gun. So we went and talked to the neighbor here, and they said they were more than willing to make a deal on land trade. Well, come to find out, in order to do this, we had to go through the county planning and zoning commission, which moves at the speed of molasses. This is something that started a year ago, but then because meetings got tabled and the agenda got tabled or something, it didn't get approved till midsummer, and we're going, great, the corn's 8-9 foot tall. You really want to hike out there and measure it? So finally, now that the crop is off, The new property line will go from the edge of the corn to right here. So we give up this chunk of what was alfalfa. Now it's just kind of been taken over by the kochia. So it squares up the property so it's not a weird angle. Makes it nice and easy because it comes right here to this pole. So it'll go to the corn, follow around the circle, and then down that way where the property line already was over there. Good. Glad that's been straightened out. This field is kind of the farm's big project this fall. Trying to get new alfalfa started. Same farm I was just at. Trying to get new alfalfa started over here. There was a lot of alfalfa here when I bought it, but it's pretty old. Not the greatest to stand, so we'd like to start cycling it out. So out there we got this amazing blend of alfalfa, oats, because that's what we had here this spring, so of course there's going to be a little oat seed, and bindweed. I would walk out there, but the wind, you ain't going to hear a damn thing anyway, so there's kind of no point in doing that. Agronomist says it's a pretty good stand. We've got areas we're going to have to replant come spring, but it's a spring problem. Right now I'm going to say it's pretty. We're going to leave it alone. Well guys, this video kind of got away from me because the day just kind of went awkward where I was in the shop and then driving around looking at fields I hadn't really seen in 2 months. Kind of lost track of what I was doing for video wise. But I wanted to show you this before I called it a day. So you got the manure pile that we've built all summer. That obviously needs spread out to start growing next year's crops. But here's our feed pile. This is what we were adding to yesterday. It literally doubled in size. I was kind of stunned how big the pile was when I drove back here to look at it. And then next door you got the corn pile. It's looking pretty. And then you got the wheatledge pile next to it, kind of the ugly red-headed stepchild of silage. But that's a conversation for another day. And then of course while I'm driving around enjoying a amazing Colorado sunset, checking on the cattle. These guys, they're hanging in there. It would make a world of difference if we could just get a couple tenths of rain and not have insane record high temperatures this time of year. The temps have been brutal on these guys, but the ones that can get through it, man, they're coming out of it looking good. The ones that aren't, it's been a little rough, but same thing we deal with every year this time. That being said though, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Go home, see how the kids' day at school was, and figure out my plan for tomorrow. Catch you guys later.